Okay, Keisha. So we have a big announcement today. Netflix acquiring officially Warner Brothers. It's funny whenever I hear or see Warner Brothers, I just think of like Batman
Oh yeah.
and the entry of Batman, where at the
Oh, like the
beginning.
logo, like the OG one. Yeah,
Yeah,
man.
the OG one. That's
Oh
exactly
yeah.
right.
I remember
Yeah.
waiting in line because before your movie tickets, this was before you could even buy your tickets online. You have to physically go
Oh,
to the
yes.
movie theater and like wait in the
Wait in
line, like
line.
like concerts, like to like buy your ticket. And I remember that like the line sneaking around the block.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
iconic, an
Yeah.
iconic media brand, a legacy studio.
Mhm.
So yeah, you watching Fox and Disney merge, you just don't think you'll see you didn't think you would see another big merger like this. And this is
Yeah.
really a tech company,
Well,
essentially.
and that's what I was going to say. Yeah, so it's
Yeah.
it's interesting because this is the first in the space. This is the first acquisition we're seeing where it's not a traditional entertainment company acquiring a traditional entertainment company. It's a tech company acquiring an
Yeah, though
entertainment.
even technically Amazon buying MGM might,
Oh
I would
yeah,
say,
yeah,
might actually be the first
yeah,
in
yeah. That's right.
that sense.
Hmm.
So but yeah, clearly, something more like the norm. I
Yeah,
mean, I think we all thought that it was going to be Paramount or that
yeah,
that seemed to be the likely suitor, but
yeah.
then
I will say I mean, there's a lot of things I don't love about any of this because we're clearly the industry is monopolizing, similar to
yeah.
marketing, advertising, and other industries. And with that comes, we're already seeing a lot of displacement, but there'll probably be rounds of layoffs
Yeah.
as any M&A. There'll probably be a small percentage of people who will thrive in this
Yeah,
environment, but a
for
lot of
sure.
people are going to, there's now a layer of uncertainty. But with M&As, I don't like that they're making all these announcements during, or like in the holiday season. I just think
Yeah.
that's dick, like straight up.
Yeah,
Like
it just
way
feels
to
like
make people go
bloodbath.
into the holiday season being like, well, I'm not sure if I have a job anymore,
Hmm.
So that sucks. I don't think that that's like that, that's not ever fun. But I think
No.
what we can do is maybe from all of our mentor sessions through interviewing all of our guests and
Hmm.
you being a coach and me
Hmm.
having experience with M&A, what practical advice maybe can we give to our audience if you are, we'll just talk middle management and above
Sure.
of the acquired company and of Netflix, and what does your future look like, and maybe what should you be considering?
Yeah, I mean, Xavier, we were talking, we had, Janine, laid out some great advice, for this. It's like you have to just immediately look like, oh, I'm interviewing for a new job at this company and start to figure out, between whether it's skill sets, whether it's like their goals, like really taking a
Mhm.
look at like how they're positioning, this takeover, how they're seeing the benefit, is like just trying to figure out where the alignment is between what it is you do or what skill sets you have and what are clearly the new priorities for the company, because that knock's going to come, someone's going to ask you to like, hey, let's meet and talk about whatever. So between now and that door knocking conversation, like just getting your ducks in a row, and like I said, looking at like where there might be gaps, so like where those Venn diagrams of what it is that you do, and what it is this company does can like come together, even if potentially there might be some departmental redundancies, but to not sort of just like give up at that point, like really figure out like what are some of the unique, selling, unique value propositions, like what other things can you do that maybe others can't. And obviously with it being a tech company and those kinds of things, I think, doing things with a eye towards like a data centric view is probably going to be something you're going to want to do.
Yeah, I think too, she had mentioned about, you should really be open to what the acquiring company's vision is and culture
Right.
is. And yes, they're going to inquire you for your information, probably, of your perspective, but you're basically now working for a new company. I
Hmm.
mean, it's what it is. So,
Absolutely.
all of the credibility of your existing role sure, it's there, but now is not the time to feel attached to anything. You should be proud of
Absolutely.
what you've achieved thus far. But with any acquisition, you also need to be just like completely open of any direction changing.
Mhm.
And the path of least resistance will probably be one where you can be flexible and accommodating and show that you maybe understand what the vision of the acquiring company is. You may
Mhm.
not like it, you may not agree with it.
Right.
But if you show that, then at least you have options.
Absolutely.
Now, on the flip side of that, you don't necessarily need to stick with it. I think
No.
people think that when they're getting acquired, the fate is in the employer's hand
Mhm.
100% only. That's not
Right.
true.
Yeah.
I mean,
You have options.
you have options. You can
Mhm.
leave. Yes, it's a tough job market, but you can spin off and become a contractor. You can
Mhm.
start doing consultancy.
Mhm.
But I think one thing that Anne Jacoby said was, creativity is key. And I think also with Nikki that we interviewed,
Mhm.
um, you know, Anne being a cultural workplace expert and Nikki being an AI expert,
Mhm.
Nikki Barua, is creativity is your superpower right now,
Mhm.
and anything unique that you can do with that because it is like a problem solving component. So there is like a opportunity to create new things. And Janine also,
Yeah.
people editor at large had echoed, everyone's looking for new ideas.
Right. And figuring out what you can be thinking about that, like, oh, here are some gaps or here are some things you guys haven't been able to do that maybe now that you have this bandwidth in this company and this acquisition, we could allow you to do these kinds of things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, no, I definitely agree that, like, I mean, the hard part is always just the gulp of it, like getting over just the shock and awe
Yeah.
of you're waking up and like, what? Like Netflix
Yeah.
or Warner Brothers. So, but again, like if you're internal and figuring that stuff out, like
Hmm.
getting over that period as soon as possible and getting into action is going to be probably the difference. Because your speed, and
Hmm.
getting yourself ready is going to be
Yeah.
probably key. There's the other thing with Netflix besides just the mission, Netflix has a very particular work culture as
Mhm.
well.
Yes, they
Uh,
do.
and that's been something that's been very detailed. So also kind of if I was somebody there trying to think about staying and selling myself in the new iteration, getting like anybody I know who already works at Netflix is immediately on my call sheet, to
Yeah.
figure out like what are the best practices around like adjusting to that culture, what works for them and what doesn't work for them, because it is a very particular one. I mean, they're pretty transparent about it. They have it like listed on their site and all that, but I would be getting some feedback from people who have worked there
Hmm.
and even left there, around like how does it really work? Like who are the people who are really designed to thrive in their particular culture, and then figuring out where I'm aligned, like what my strengths are and how I might approach that culture. Because that's another big factor in how they work.
Yeah, I definitely would agree with that. And they've been pretty like open, vocal, and on the front stage about that. But I mean, there's no delulu here. Like
Yeah.
there's going to be a lot of people who are going to lose their jobs.
Yep.
And it's, definitely going to change the way that entertainment and media was coming out of Warner Brothers.
Yeah.
But I
And it
think
affects the whole industry. I mean,
it does.
obviously the people who work at the companies, but the
Yeah.
trickle down of
Hmm.
a merger of this size to the industry with writ large
Hmm.
is I don't even know that I can sit here and quantify it from where I'm sitting. It's
Yeah.
probably going to take even some time to like see the aftershocks of it, because
Yeah.
there's already been a compression, and this is a major um part.
Hmm.
This is another like a major step forward in like what's already been a massive compression in the industry. And I know the guilds are weighing in and things like that now, but there's a lot of concern.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm
Yeah.
I don't know what can be done about that concern, but there's quite a lot of concern
I think that
around what this means.
yeah, I think that the benefit of this happening right now, if there is going to be a benefit, is twofold, that it is the holiday season. Now is the time to go to the holiday party, go to
Mhm.
that networking event you were invited to. make that call to somebody, send a Christmas card to that person, and really lean into networking. Like if am an employee at either of these companies, I'm spending the majority of my time now networking, and talking to my connections and refreshing and, reconnecting with people and just seeing what else is out there. And so that you have options so that you're not just at the mercy of what the company decides. And then parallel to that, doing the work to like learn about the network
Right,
culture,
right.
the Netflix culture, and then also come up with creative ideas. When you're asked for an idea, you should
Yeah,
say it and don't be afraid if
100%.
it
If you're
doesn't
not asked for an
align.
idea, you should say
Yeah,
it.
and don't be worried about like maybe this doesn't align with them. You don't know, like maybe it will. And but if you
Yeah.
have ideas, you'll be more respected than if you don't have ideas.
Absolutely. And you
Mhm.
at this point, what do you have to lose, right?
Nothing.
Like this
Exactly.
is the
Yeah.
thing. I mean, like, but like you said, to your point and what Anne is saying, it's like to, what people are dealing with fastly shifting atmospheres and fastly shifting markets. They're
Yep.
all saying like try to be as creative as you can, like try to come up with like the thing that you were like that my team that wouldn't get this, or this might be super out of the box, but now that things are being shaken up, like there could be a potential or an interest in this. And
Yeah.
sometimes, even if it's whether they execute the idea or not, that they see that you're thinking creatively, that they see that you're
Exactly.
like leaning into the change and like trying to figure out like how things would, even if it's an example of how your mind works and how you approach challenge, that's also beneficial.
I would agree with that. Yeah. And as my husband says, like just remember you're more than whatever your title is at your company.
Oh,
And
yeah.
what's your famous line?
You got to separate your work from your worth.
That's right.
And this is why, because you have these critical periods where you can look
Hmm.
and if your identity has been so tied up in what you have produced or what your title is, or all these other things, when these changes happen, it becomes not just and say an external crisis about like say your job. It becomes an internal crisis
Yes.
about who you are as a person
Hmm.
and what this all means about your value and your worth as a human being.
Right.
And the reason we do the work of getting ahead of that is because we all know inevitably, especially now, times will change, things will happen. You can have today and not have tomorrow, and have today and not have tomorrow. And if your internal value is going up and down with that meter, it makes navigating the change that much harder because you're trying to hold on to something that you may not be able to hold on to or isn't in your best interest to, just because you're trying to hold on to yourself,
Right.
your sense of self rather.
Right.
So while it's a lot easier said than done, that work and that component, if you've gotten ahead of it, or if you're just starting now, it's going to help you navigate these situations because you realize like I'm bigger than this. I am more than this job and this title and this thing, and I am the being that will get through this,
That's right.
come what may.
Yeah.
Um,
And like Jimmy says, rejection's not personal, so don't take it personal.
yeah,
It's a lot of parts at play. So if you are unfortunately one of the people that ends up getting laid off, just know that one, you're not alone. There's
sure,
lots of people out there exiting either by choice or not by choice. And so
absolutely,
there's a huge community of support right now
absolutely,
for that. So
absolutely.
lean into your community, lean into your network, do that work, connect with people, and see what else is out there. And then also just know that this is a period where you can't control the outcome.
Mm-mm.
So just do your best, providing your insights and say your piece. You have nothing to lose. Don't be afraid. Fear is not going to help you in this situation. So just be
No,
open,
action.
really try and learn the culture, provide your input, and the chips will fall where they may. And if you end up no longer being part of the company, or you end up successfully getting integrated into the new paradigm, then that was what was meant to be. And that'll be your next chapter, and you'll navigate it just fine. But if you are worried about, what's going to happen, and obviously people have bills to pay, just
No.
know that there are plenty of new opportunities out there, particularly with AI, and there's lots of people looking for support because resources are always short. So think about consulting right away and setting that up. If you don't already have a personal LLC, you may want to do that just so you have it. And see what the opportunities are, but definitely lean into your networks now and get
Yeah,
your LinkedIn's updated
absolutely. And watch the exit interview.
and watch the exit interview for more practical advice.
More practical advice about navigating pivots and transitions in your career.
That's right. If you like this commentary, please like, subscribe, follow, comment below. We'll be providing more insights like this. Next week, we'll have some salary negotiation tips, and as bonus season approaches, when you should stay and when you should go.
Yeah, but let us know what you guys think about the merger. What do you
Yeah,
think is coming
comment
next?
below. We want to hear your thoughts. Thanks.